All right, sorry it is a little after 4. We seem to have some synchronization problems between our clocks, but that's okay. The meeting's going to be so short, it probably won't matter much. So we'll go ahead and call this October 20th, 2014 meeting to order. If I could get a roll call, please.
Mayor Householder.
Here.
Commissioner Blanchard.
Here.
Commissioner Crawford.
Here.
Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Hardy.
Here.
At this time, all who are able, please stand and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. We have no awards and proclamations today, so we'll go ahead and open up the Citizens Forum. This is an opportunity for anyone to come and speak regarding an item that is not on today's agenda. Please be sure to give me your name and address. And we normally limit to 5 minutes, but short meeting today, so don't take 30, but...
Thank you. Ray Riska, 235 North Santa Fe. I want to thank the commissioners for standing during a moment of silence. I think that is appropriate. I'll go on to, what I was going to say. It's about the CDC declared fluoridation to be one of the 10 greatest public health achievements of the 21st century. And that's been said more than a few times. But according to CDC MMRW, 1999, volume 48, number 12, which is called the Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report, is the CDC's weekly standard to disseminate information and their recommendations. The information behind this quote comes from the 99 MMWR. The contents of MMWR are published entirely by the staff of the CDC and is often called the voice of the CDC. None of the information it contains has been independently peer-reviewed, and MMWR does not publish any article or research that runs counter to CDC policy or positions. Recently, the CDC responded to a Freedom of Information request asking for the names and job descriptions of all parties at the CDC who have had input to the agency's decision to support fluoridation. 2 persons, Scott Thomas, DDS, which is a dentist, and Susan Griffin, an economist, wrote the CDC's policy and position. The glaring fact is no toxicologist has ever been directly involved in the decision process, no minority health professionals or experts on internal medicine. Top 10 health achievements of the 20th century, this statement is often spouted as proof that water fluoridation is a panacea for oral health, but is really an overused piece of propaganda. There are no peer-reviewed studies to back up the claim that fluoridation is one of the 10 great public health achievements of the 20th century. The CDC MMRW comments that fluoride reduces bone loss. When it claimed reduction in tooth or bone loss by 40%, teeth are the same material as skeletal bones and the rest of the body. Bone loss reduction in adults is determined by absorption and reabsorption and by the remodeling balance of osteoblasts, which is bone making, and osteoclasts, which are bone loss. When the CDC says fluoride reduces bone loss 40 to 60%, it means the remodeling balance is disrupted. Can the claim be made fluoride disrupts osteoblasts and osteoclast remodeling balance? Does it make it true if I say it? Which is exactly what the CDC is doing by saying reduction of 40 to 60% without peer review. The pro-fluoride dentists claim there are thousands of reliable scientific studies that have established the safety of community water fluoridation by optimum levels of fluoride. then why do the optimum levels keep going down over time? Show me the overwhelming scientific evidence. The challenge to pro-fluoride dentists is to produce the best peer review study to prove your position. 38,468 dentists said Viceroy cigarettes were good for you in newspaper and magazine advertising in the 50s. Quotes from ads says, as your dentist, I would recommend Viceroys. Or they can never stain your teeth. They must have been paid pretty good for the majority of the dentists, because this is the height of hypocrisy. Why would anyone believe them now about fluoride? Keeping a poison in the water called fluoride benefits dentists' bottom line. More cosmetic charges to cover up dental fluorosis that is caused by fluoride with $1,000 tooth veneers. Let the dentists sell all the fluoride they want. Just don't support putting poison in the water and force me to drink and bathe in it. Are these guys snake oil salesmen riding around in a covered wagon? Vote yes to stop fluoride. Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Okay, thank you.
I have a little memorandum from 1962. For your
Thank you.
And I'll start off with, of course, the city commissioners, Dennis Benoit, 1773 20th Road in Ellsworth County, but I was born here. And I like to start off with, I believe the city commissioners in 1968 did not have that information like you have before you. And it basically says, it's from the Division of Dental Public Health and Resources. It's an item that they did a FOIA request, and that request is basically that blacks in Grand Rapids study had twice the amount of dental fluorosis as the others. So, and the way it's issued here, I'm a little concerned because, as we know, as fluoridation or man-made vaccines are government programs, and once they get instituted, they're put above the people. I believe they should be below helping the people. But the government does something, they protect their programs. And it sort of has almost a conflict of interest, especially with the CDC, who is supposed to give accurate information, do good, solid studies, but yet the last sentence in this memo, basically states that, of course, blacks have twice as much dental fluorosis as whites or other. Would this observation indicate more studies in case opponents use this finding? I would hope their concern would be with the children and not trying to protect the fluoridation program. So, and of course I'll review real quick, like dental fluorosis is going rampant. This is the CDC 2010 information. This is a study. This is 10 years old right here, saying the age 12 to 15-year-olds have 40%, over 40% of dental fluorosis. Most of it's in the very mild area, but that's an indicator. The other information they found out from that Information Freedom Act was that it averages out to 36% for the whites and 58% for the blacks. So maybe they learned how to cherry pick the numbers and get a smaller group of blacks in this study. So as we know, as it was just said, they've lowered the concentration, the optimum concentration. If you'll notice on this one sheet, subject line, optimum fluoride levels. that is my concern, that they had a problem, they knew they had a problem in 1962. In Salina, Kansas, the city commissioners voted it in 1968. I guarantee you, this did not reach any sunlight. That's why the opponents couldn't use it, because it was hidden. As a conflict of interest, their job is to protect the fluoridation program, and they're not looking out for the good of the children that it's supposed to be benefiting. So that's basically that. I would like to end basically with a very simple. My main concern for dental fluorosis and added fluoride in the water is that in the first 9 months of life, and that's the definition of dental fluorosis, is the first 8 years of a child's life, the exposure to fluoride. The most important time is that first 9 months. And women are part of the miracle of life, and you protect that child. But in Salina, for the last 46 years, if you've been drinking the added fluoride in the tap water, then you are feeding that child a higher level of a neurotoxin that can disrupt his inner clock. In the miracle of life, there's a clock in the child, and these things have to fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even a little deviation due to one or two measurements, that will not happen. That child will never reach his full potential. And so, to go through it one more time, this is from 2010. This is what it used to be, 1.1 to the high of 1.2. This is what it is now, 0.54 to 0.64. So they've dropped it quite a bit. And I appreciate that, but with this memorandum, I think they are a little bit late. They knew they had a problem back in 1962. And if they've been protecting the fluoridation program, we'll eventually find out. And we'll bring that information to you. But women, please protect your innocent unborn child from any neurotoxins like fluoride, the added fluoride. Please vote yes to stop fluoridation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lou Tryon, 2122 Leland Way. Yes, there are a lot of signs in Salina regarding fluoridation. This is what we asked for, people to research and make up their own minds. The freedom to choose whether to keep the fluoride in the water or to stop it. The vote no people are saying it's fine to put a man-made hazardous waste into our water. The leftovers from manufacturing fertilizer in China, where their standards and strict manufacturing practices are lacking. It's illegal to dump any of this hazardous waste into any body of water, yet we can dispose of it in our bodies. The EPA has a list of neurotoxins, which are poisons, that affect the nervous system. And I have a list right here. Lead and fluoride are right there among the rest. Those voting no are saying it's okay to put a poison that damages the nervous system into our water. The no voters are supporting a hazardous waste product from a country whose track record gave us lead paint on our toys. Where was the government officials to make sure this didn't happen? Whoops. China supplied jewelry with lead in the metals. Where was our governmental department to prevent this? Whoops. 2020 had a whole hour's presentation on how cosmetics made in China have lead in the ingredients. Where is the government office that's supposed to prevent this? Whoops. The U.S. received shipments of pet treats manufactured in China that killed our dogs who trusted us to give them safe and healthy foods. Petco had to finally refuse to sell any more of these treats. Where was our government officials so this didn't happen? Whoops. Where are our guarantees that this man-made hazardous waste from China will never be a whoops in our water? Our past experiences with Chinese products tell us there are no guarantees with China. The no voters are willing to take this chance. I am not. The no voters claim to protect children by ensuring they get their hazardous waste every day. The yes voters protect children by wanting to give them clean, pure water. They don't want them to get dental fluorosis. No voters say it's no big deal. Yes voters believe in fairness for all. If someone wants to use the fluoride, we don't have any objection to that. Let them go to their dentist and get the pharmaceutical grade. Then the rest of us won't be forced to have to take a toxin or a poison in our water. And that's all we want is fairness. What about the dear lady that was here 2 weeks ago? She said whenever she took a drink of fluoridated water, her throat closed, and her doctor said, make sure you don't get any more fluoride because you're so allergic to it. When I did the petition drive, I came across several of those people in Salina who said they were very much allergic to it. Is that fair? We don't have to have the fluoride in the water. It's put in there to treat the person, not to treat the water. And here the EPA calls it a toxin, a neurotoxin that damages your nervous system. So let's think about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Anyone else on it? Okay, appreciate you all coming out. Oh, I'm sorry, one more.
My name is Alan Reed. I'm an orthodontist. I maintain my practice in Salina at 920 East Cloud. Just a few things about fluoride for you today. Fluoride is proven to be both safe and effective at reducing the incidence of tooth decay. There have been literally thousands of published studies or reports confirming the safety and effectiveness of fluoride in the water supply. One example for you, a local example. Volunteer dentists perform dental health screenings on school children in both Wichita and Salina. These screenings consistently show Salina school children have half the number of dental cavities as they find in the Wichita school screenings. As you probably know, Wichita does not fluoridate their water. If you're not sure about fluoride, ask your family dentist. If you have questions, ask your family dentist or ask your family physician. In Salina, 100% of the Salina dentists support fluoridation of the water supply. 100% of the physicians support fluoridation of the water supply. One good source of other information, if you don't want to ask your dentist or physician, there is a website on the internet. It's called ilikemyteeth.org. There is information on there that explains both sides of this issue in terms that anyone can understand. I caution you, though, there is also a lot of false and misleading information on the internet, too. So be careful what you read, but I can assure you that this is a good, well-organized, and informative website. Also, I'm available. If you have questions, if you'd like to discuss fluoride, my office phone number and my home phone number are both published. I'd be happy to answer your questions if you call. If you support fluoride, be sure that you remember to vote no to keep fluoride in the water supply. If you support fluoride and want to make a statement about that, I would love to put a sign in your yard supporting fluoride. Again, just call my office or my home, and I can arrange to have that done. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate Did you have something else that wasn't really? No rebuttal on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's go
yeah.
on.
We'll go ahead, yeah, I think we'll move on. We got executive session on there, so appreciate everybody coming out again and giving your thoughts on the issue. That moves us on to public hearings and items scheduled for a certain time, which we have none, and so that moves us on the consent agenda.
Item 6.1, approve the minutes of October 13, 2014. Item 6.2, authorize the purchase of fire hydrants, project number 14-3050 from HD Supply Waterworks Ltd., McPherson, Kansas, in the amount of $54,580.96.
Is there any item the commission would like removed or amended from the consent agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion on those two items.
I'm tempted.
No, you're not.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda as printed.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The motion carries 5-0. We have no administration, no development business. We have other business. Any other business besides the posted one? Anybody have anything?
I think, did you want to mention something about the weekend?
Yeah, I was going to say just that very thing.
I'll let you do that then.
Sure, and I'm sure you were involved in some of the issues. Just a really busy weekend in Salina. Lots of good stuff going on. Had the fall cleanup, which I know at least Commissioner Blanchard. I don't know if anybody else was around for that. It looks like they did some downtown cleaning, some painting, some river cleanup. We had the pub crawl, which you can maybe give a report on that. Blues Masters at the Crossroads. I was trying to think of all the other things that were going on.
Guns and hoses.
Guns and hoses. Our law enforcement took this year. We'll expect the firefighters practice a little more and be ready for next year, and maybe send that trophy back to them. But just a busy weekend full of a lot of good, positive things going on in the community. I'm sure I'm leaving out
We had a
tons.
good Kansas Wesleyan homecoming weekend.
Oh, good, yeah,
as
yeah.
well. And I think there was a Salina South football win this weekend.
Was it
as well.
South Central
So-
and they won? See, I didn't even know about that. Look at that. So, but just a busy, good, like I said, lots of positive things going on. A beautiful weekend to have them all going on, and I think it's a sign that the city's kind of going in the right direction, I hope. So with that, if anybody doesn't have anything else, okay, great.
I move to recess into executive session for 30 minutes to discuss confidential data relating to the financial affairs and trade secrets of a corporation for the reason that public discussion of the information would competitively disadvantage the corporation, and reconvene at 4:55.
Do we anticipate any business after this?
We do not.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second then to go into an executive session. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We're in executive session. Thank you.